dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Countdown, levitate. Going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump, fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day. Champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now stepping up to home. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for it.
All right, folks, right there behind me is the previous location of the Wendy's where the shooting happened. And as you can see, they did not rebuild here. This place is vacant. I'm going to show you some overhead footage and show you what I can.
Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Smile good, skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit 4 days. I grind 4 ways. I play no games. All me, no blame. On the wave, my own wave. Can't stop my shine. In the lane, my own lane. Can't stop my grind. 40 yard in the V12 and like 1.5. At 19, I cleared 19 in a month, no lie. Oh God. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam.
Obviously, I went to Atlanta to film this video, and I did film it, but I ran into a lot of issues with this filming this one. The area that the shooting happened in, my camera wasn't very welcome there. I'll just put it that way, or maybe I wasn't welcome there. Whatever. Needless to say, I couldn't do very much filming, which is why you didn't have a lot to see there just a minute ago. But I showed you what I could, and I showed you really everything there was. You cannot enter that property. It's solid fence across all 4 sides. I checked it best I could, and you can't get in there. So I couldn't. I was going to try to get on the property and show you more details, like I always do, and wasn't able to do it. I want to speak real fast on Rayshard Brooks. He was 27 years old. I never knew him personally, obviously, but everybody that I spoke to or read or heard interviews and read articles on that spoke about him had only good things to say. I know a lot of society will paint him a certain way. I'm not going to do that. You know, the man made a mistake and paid the ultimate sacrifice for it, and why would I have anything negative to say about that individual? And I'm not going to do it here. That's not how we do things, okay? So, it's going to start raining any second now, I think. But everybody that spoke about him spoke positively. And they all had good things to say about him. Said he was a very positive soul, very positive spirit. And that he, one specific comment even said that he very rarely even cussed. He lived a great life. You know, people make mistakes, folks. You know, you cannot judge people for every little thing they do. Rayshard had a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an 8-year-old little girl, okay? There are 3 little girls out there, and he also had a 13-year-old stepson also, okay? But there are 3 little girls and 1 little boy out there that's, daddy ain't coming home, okay? Y'all need to worry more about that than you do about the negativity on somebody. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox, because you know, y'all don't know me like that, but I'll get going. I don't like people bashing on people who can't defend themselves. So I'm just going to stop right there, okay? Rayshard, like I said, paid the ultimate price. I'm not going to get into the crime scene. You can go in there and watch the full, like, hour-long body tape footage of what happened. There's no need for me to say anything. It speaks for itself what happened, okay? I'll just say that had any one of us met him in real life at any one given time, you may have thought he was the nicest guy in the world. Okay, so before you place judgment, you might think about that. A lot of us have met people who have made a lot of bad decisions and went on and did very bad things and whatever, but when you met them, it might have been the nicest guy, and that's how a lot of people think about this guy. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Okay, for me personally, I hope Rayshard's everlasting soul and his family's, all of his friends and everybody get all the prayers and all the support they need during this time. I mean, it's 2 years later, almost to the day of the event, and but you can imagine what this family's going through and what they'll go through for the rest of their lives, especially these little kids. And so I'm going to move on to the, I got flies. We're in Alabama. It's only about 80 degrees right now, but it was about 95 just a few minutes ago, and that storm fixing to move in on me, so I got to get on to the rest of this video right quick. But I did go to Rayshard's grave, and I'm going to show you the footage now that I have of that, and I'll come back in just a second. I'll explain it, okay? Alright, so what y'all saw there, if you noticed in the photos, the white horse in the carriage, there was a casket in that carriage, okay? I only say that because when I called the cemetery and asked the office about where he was buried at, they told me he was not buried there, that he was cremated and his body was given to friends and family, and it was private and all that stuff. And I think, I mean, you know, so I actually went to the cemetery. That's how I got the footage that you just saw. If you notice on the grave of Rayshard's mother, I'll include a photo of Rayshard at his mother's grave right now. And that's how I found his mother's grave, was from that photo that I found on Facebook, okay? I've been doing this for a while, okay? I've done a lot of stories and a lot of research. I don't think that they would have taken his body out there if they didn't bury it. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I could be totally wrong, but I believe the family has just asked that the cemetery throw some smoke and say basically that he's not buried there, just for the privacy of the grave. You'll notice in the photos that there's a large congregation of people letting loose balloons. That's only about 35 yards or so, 30 to 40 yards down the hill from his mother's grave, in an area where there's about 4 or 5 empty spots there he could be buried in. I have no evidence of this, it's just my personal opinion. I think he's either buried right there next to his mama in that empty grave, or he's buried down the hill where everybody's doing that congregating, because you also notice in one of the pictures, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying this right, that the horse and carriage has stopped there right in front of the people who are doing the balloon release there, the memorial. So obviously you can't see any holes in the ground. There's no evidence of that anywhere on the internet. I can't find anything anywhere, and I have searched for weeks to try to find something, and it's not there. So we're just going to leave it at that. But that's why I'm having to film the video the way that I am. I tried to film everything there in Atlanta, and it just didn't work out that way. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap the video up right here. I want to give one last prayer out to Rayshard's everlasting soul and his families and everybody involved. And also, I'll even say this, and some of y'all might hate me for it, even on the police side of this, the ones that were involved, and I don't mean just the 2 officers that were there, all the ones that were involved that had to deal with this and see this and go through it, prayers to all of them. Okay, they all deserve it. Okay, it was a very bad spot for anybody to be put in and have to make a decision, whether it be the decision Rayshard made or the decision that Officer, I think his name's Rolfe, and Officer Bronson. I'm sorry. I don't have none of this stuff in front of me right now, and I haven't really studied. I'm just speaking from the brain here. I'm sweating. Okay. Prayers to everybody involved. Okay. It's a horrible situation for everybody, and that's going to conclude the video. Y'all that are watching the video right now, if you're just not finding my channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. It's free. It costs you nothing. It helps me out. That's how I'm able to go ahead and pay for these videos and do more traveling and get more details involved and spend more time on each individual case that I do. Like the video, maybe share it on your Facebook, share it on social media platforms. Ooh. And anyhow, thank y'all for coming to watch the video. I appreciate it more than you know. And once again, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.